Hello to all of you wonderful moms out there. This is episode 57 of the Achieve Your Ambitious Mom Life podcast. I'm really glad that you've joined me today. I want to ask you, have you ever set a goal with the best intentions in mind and then you find yourself abandoning it weeks later? Those goals we set for ourselves often get pushed aside and we're overwhelmed with all the things that we have to do on a daily basis. That's why today I'm sharing my Master Goal Framework. It's a comprehensive framework designed specifically for high-achieving moms who want to create a life where they can show up the way that they want to. Yes, those making a difference in the world kind of goals. This isn't just another goal-setting method, though. It's really a whole goal journey framework that sets you up for success from mindset all the way through to celebrating your wins. So if you're ready to regain control of your day and honestly your life in how you set and achieve goals while being an amazing mom, grab a notebook and a pen, and this episode is going to be a total game changer for you. Are you looking for a way to blend success and motherhood without losing sight of who you are? I get it. I've been there too. Hi, I'm Anoki, a PhD researcher, business owner, and homeschooling mom of 2 boys. As your life coach, I help moms like you create a life you love at home and at work. If you're ready to stop feeling overwhelmed, overscheduled, and overlooked, and want a clear roadmap to a balanced life, a meaningful career, and finally feeling like yourself again while being the awesome mama that you are, you're in the right place. In this journey to create the life you truly desire, it's time to rediscover your dreams and achieve your ambitious mom life. As a mom, the times that I felt lost have usually been when I don't have clear goals set in front of me. And the thing is that when we're growing up, no one actually teaches us how to set goals, right? Assignments are handed to us, deadlines are set for us. We even show up for our jobs with the job descriptions all defined for us. But when it comes to our personal growth or paving our own way so that we can create impact, you're not really going to get anywhere if you're just waiting for the goal setting to be handed to you. We need to constantly be in tune with our own lives and what we want, and then actively define those goals and how to achieve them. If you don't have clear goals currently, then I can totally understand why you might feel unsettled and aimless. As high-achieving moms, goals are intimately intertwined with our sense of identity. When we don't have goals to strive for, it's so easy to feel disoriented and lost and a lot less like yourself. And so when moms lose track of their individual identity and their interests outside of motherhood, it creates an unsustainable dynamic for them because they haven't lost their skills, but they don't have a focal point to direct those skills to anymore. As ambitious moms, goals aren't just a luxury, a nice to have, or a hobby type thing that you have on the side. They're actually essential for us and who we are. And goals have so many benefits in our lives. For one, they improve our overall well-being and life satisfaction. Goals impact our mental health, confidence, physical well-being, our cognitive function, and even our motivation. And so when you have the freedom to pursue meaningful goals, you can really show up for your family in a much more meaningful way because of that full spectrum of benefits that goals can have in your life. That spillover effect means that your improved well-being benefits everyone around you. And so you're not really doing anyone any favors when you overlook your goals. When you thrive, your family thrives too. So goals impact your well-being, like I said, but also harder things to measure as well, like confidence, focus, motivation, and joy. And when it comes to the confidence that you gain from pursuing goals, there's actually this feedback loop, right? So when you make some progress on your goals, it increases your confidence. And then that increase in confidence helps you move forward even further in your goals. And it just keeps going forward like a snowball effect. And as I mentioned earlier, goals also help you maintain your identity and your purpose outside of your role as a mom. So by setting and achieving personal goals, that helps us ambitious moms to maintain our connection with who we are. We start to feel a lot more capable, almost as if we're regaining a little bit of who we were before we became moms. And then we can't forget that as moms, we are role models. And so we are modeling this healthy behavior for our kids. So our personal goals really aren't just about our own achievements. Yes, there is absolutely an element of that that's baked into who we are. We are high achievers. But we're also modeling that healthy behavior. And so we're showing our kids the importance of continuous growth and how to build confidence and how to become resilient, right? All those times that we fail at our goals, that's not for nothing. That is showing our kids how you pick yourself back up and keep moving forward, even when you face obstacles. When we show up as our best selves, our kids can also achieve their fullest potential. And so in that way, our children are learning from what we do and what we say. So my MASTER goals framework helps ambitious moms set and achieve their goals effectively. It's the same framework I use in my coaching program. This is basically a comprehensive framework for your entire goal journey, and it's going to set you up for success from mindset all the way through to celebrating your wins. It also works for all types of goals, for personal growth, career advancement, health improvements, relationship building, and so many other things. And this framework is specifically designed to work with your life plan. Your goals are basically the actionable steps that are rooted in your values. By having your life plan, you can ensure that your goals and how you live out your days are going to be in line with your values and your purpose. And now your concrete daily steps and your stepping stone goals are all going to be directed towards your very high level goal and vision. Now, you can use this MASTER goals framework without a life plan, but obviously for the reasons I just said, when you pair it with the life plan, it is so much more powerful and will ensure that it works as intended. So the first step, M, is mindset in the MASTER goals framework. So before starting any journey, when you're setting your goals, it's really important to have the right mindset. Developing a growth mindset is so essential, and that's why I make it the first step, even before you conceive the idea for your goal. A goal mindset is one where you see challenges as opportunities, where setbacks are actually valuable lessons instead of these permanent obstacles that paralyze you from moving forward. Having the right mindset helps you turn roadblocks into just temporary problems that you can overcome, and so you don't give up at the first sign of trouble. In episode 17, I shared 5 mindset secrets that drive your goals forward. That is adopting a growth mindset focused on achievement, removing limiting beliefs, connecting goals with values, learning to stay positive, and embracing a I can figure it out attitude. So I'm going to link that episode in the show notes, and I highly recommend you listening to it because I explain how to prepare for any goal journey, and I provide the step-by-step guide on how to set yourself up for success by forming the strong mindset. Now, many times we're also going to encounter excuses, and those excuses can really threaten our goals. These are excuses like, I'm too tired, or I don't have enough time, or in general when you're resisting change or facing an environmental challenge. Even seemingly harmless thoughts like, it's okay if I just skip one day, can actually lead to the slippery slope that disrupts your progress. So when these excuses start piling up, that actually puts our goals at risk even before we start. So I've created specific strategies to keep my goals on track and follow through consistently, even when I feel these excuses showing up. One effective approach is to write down what your limiting belief is and start questioning your assumptions like any curious scientist would. Ask yourself if what you're thinking is actually true. What evidence do you have that makes you think these things? Because sometimes when you start questioning it and really poking holes at your own assumptions, you're going to realize the flaws in your thinking. Having a strong goal mindset really lays that solid foundation to ensure that you're mentally ready for that goal-setting journey that lays ahead. So the next step is A for alignment. Alignment is all about ensuring that your goals are truly connected with who you are, and that comes from your life plan, specifically your core values and your long-term vision. Now, this isn't just a nice-to-have step. It's really essential. When your big goals and those smaller stepping stone goals work in harmony with who you are and the life that you want, you can create natural motivation, and it's going to be so easy to be committed to your goals. When properly aligned, each decision we make in our daily lives should be furthering our various goals and feed into that overarching vision that we have. So before starting any goal or making any life transition, I strongly encourage you to create your life plan, as that'll be the foundation for all your major decisions, including which goals are truly right for you. Have you ever wondered why you have so many ideas and goals that you want to pursue, but then you often lose steam and abandon them? It might be because you haven't set the right goals for you in the first place. As busy moms, I want you to focus on goals that you can be serious about. I don't want you to pursue any of those New Year's resolution fads that fizzle out by February. When you base your goals on your life plan, your goals will work with who you are and what you want. They will be very low resistance in allowing you to show up consistently. It almost sounds too simple, but it is so true. So how do you implement this alignment in practice? If you have your life plan, then it's actually quite easy. Just review your core values, your vision, your priorities, passions, purpose, preferences, everything that you've laid out in your life plan. And make sure that whatever goals you set are filtered through your life plan. Your goals should be a logical next step in your life plan. There should be an obvious bucket that the goals fall right into from the top tier 1 of your life plan into that bottom tier 2. Now, if you don't have a life plan, I still promised you that you can use this framework. So there is a more short-term approach that you can use. Start by defining your key life roles and your deepest values, and then ask yourself, what's really important to me? And then, why is this important to me? Anytime you're looking to define purpose or ask why, you should really remember to keep going and ask and answer that question many times over so that you go beyond that surface level reason. And then after you ask the same why question multiple times, you're going to start to reveal to yourself your true motivation. That's what I'm asking you to really hit upon right now. Then by defining your why really deeply, you can create goals that aren't just tasks on your to-do list. Right? Those are the surface level stuff that we just kind of have to get done on a daily basis. I want you to be able to meaningfully pursue things that energize you and fulfill you, even when things get tough. So I've been talking about life planning a lot, and if that is something that you think would be helpful to you, maybe you are feeling overwhelmed by all of your unfinished tasks, or maybe the goals that you are pursuing are not fulfilling you the way that they used to. Well, friend, I don't want you to struggle with this anymore. In my Balanced Mom Coaching Program, I help high-achieving moms like you regain control of your day and your life. I help you create a life where you can be everything that you want to be for yourself, for your family, for your career. The Master Goals Framework is just one of many tools that we use. If you're ready to take back control and transform your goal-setting approach, I invite you to one-on-one coaching with me. And if you're not sure, then definitely book a free exploratory call with me, because in less than 30 minutes, we're going to figure out whether coaching with me is right for you, and we can make a plan to get you started on your journey to becoming a more balanced, goal-oriented mom again. All the information you need is in the show notes below. The S in our Master Goals Framework stands for goal setting, where clarity really is your secret weapon here. Creating well-defined goals eliminates ambiguity by answering 2 critical questions. What exactly is your goal, and how will you know when you've achieved it? Specific goals lead to higher performance instead of having some vague aspiration, because you won't actually then be able to build a plan of how to reach that point. You want to detail exactly what success looks like for you. You want to define the specific outcomes that you hope to achieve. You can even identify examples of success in your chosen area that you're working on. Now, one common approach is to use the SMART framework for goal setting. That is having goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Now, the SMART framework is great for really discrete goals that are binary, like yes or no, have you achieved it, or things that can be numerically measured. But remember, you can also set qualitative goals that are based on feelings or more squishy definitions. And as moms, many of our goals really do fall into that category. And so it's no wonder that so many moms struggle to find clear benchmarks for their goals. Personal success for us moms often feel abstract, and that really leaves us kind of questioning if we're actually making progress on our goals. And that's why I have already introduced to you guys my Growth Up framework. And so I'm going to link the episode that goes into how you can have a framework for setting and measuring your more qualitative goals. Now, another powerful tool in your goal-setting arsenal is a SWOT analysis. Most of you might actually know what that is. You might have even used it at work, perhaps. Now, this is a strategic planning approach, but I really like using it in my personal life because it, one, clarifies my goals, but it also then helps me to make better decisions, and it works with my life plan because it specifically hones in on your strengths, preferences, passions, And it also takes into account things that counter those, like your weaknesses, challenges, and dislikes. This is something that we often overlook when we're setting goals. The SWOT analysis forces us to recognize what we're giving up when we pursue our goals. It could be time, energy, money. But on the flip side, it also has you take a look at what is the risk when you maintain the status quo and not do anything. When you understand all of these important pieces in the decision-making equation, you can confidently determine which actions are truly worth pursuing. T is the technique element of our master goals framework, and it's all about practical implementation. This is where you answer the crucial questions of when will you dedicate time for this goal, and where will you work on this goal, and also how, like the specific steps. If your goal was a lab experiment, say, then you would first need to gather all your materials, and then you'd have to follow a detailed protocol. Everything is outlined so that when the time comes, you're not scrambling to find the things that you need for your experiment, and you don't figure out the steps as you go through your experiment. That's all figured out in advance. So, when it comes to your goals, you want to do a similar thing. You start by assessing your resources wisely. Identify what materials, equipment, people, and time you're going to need. It could be that you need to take some courses and bolster up your knowledge in this area. Make sure you know the specific locations and spaces where you're going to work towards your goal. Now, if you completed a SWOT analysis from the prior step, then much of this will already be outlined for you. Then next, you want to develop actionable steps with realistic timelines. This isn't about having vague intentions, right? You want to be as specific and concrete as you can be by having it laid out step by step. While you don't need to flesh out every detail from the start, you should identify the smallest possible actionable steps to move forward. By breaking your goals into manageable chunks, you're making it a lot less overwhelming and therefore more achievable. Each small step builds confidence for the next step. When my clients work with me, we take their big milestone goals and methodically break them down into weekly targets. Then we translate those weekly goals into specific time blocks, and we identify daily habits and decisions that are needed to ensure consistent progress. Remember, every small action that you take is significant because it's all leading you towards your ultimate life vision. This connection between your daily actions and your bigger dream is really what transforms your ordinary goal setting into an extraordinary life of impact. E for execution is really where the magic happens. It's when all that careful planning it gets converted into real action. And so I like to also call this the goal-getting phase. But many high-achieving moms find this part really challenging. They love coming up with the ideas and the thought of reaching the end of their goals. But when it comes time to actually doing it, they might start it and it might fizzle out, or they may not even start it at all. Now, when that happens, it's not because of a lack of ability, but it's often because of overwhelm, perfectionism, and the fear of failure, which all are roadblocks for us. But I'm going to give you some tips here on how to keep moving forward. So first, obviously, the important thing is to get started. So how do you do that? You can start by taking the smallest possible action. Just identify one tiny step that you can take today, and that is what's going to create momentum, like I said, and build the confidence for what's going to come next. Also, leverage your time blocking by scheduling specific goal work appointments into your calendar. Give it the attention that you would, say, your job, and make it a non-negotiable if you're really serious about it. And look, even 15 to 30-minute blocks can lead to significant progress over time. So to maintain your momentum then, and to be in it for the long haul, create accountability systems by sharing your goals with a friend or family member, even your coach. You could join a community if you don't have someone you can talk to readily. By having regular check-ins, you're going to be able to stay on track. So whatever that system is for you, make sure that you have that set up. And don't forget what I talked about in episode 54 about having a personal code of conduct where you can actually work to keep the promises you make to yourself. So I'll link that as well in the show notes, and I have a free resource that you can use to do this. Another strategy is to create contingency plans for when you come across a challenge. If you already know that you're likely to encounter certain roadblocks, like perfectionism and fear of failure and things like that, then it really helps to have a plan of what you are going to do when you come across that obstacle. And so now you can see why that mindset work we did at the start of the goal journey is so important. All of that was to set you up for success at this later stage. And then remember to manage your inner critic by challenging all of that negative self-talk and replacing all of those I can't statements into confident answers to questions of how can I? Speak to yourself with the same compassion that you would offer a friend. And because you're working with your life plan, it'll be easier for you to stay motivated. You are going to be able to visualize your deeper why and turn to your life plan for that. Sometimes it helps to document your progress as well. I want to challenge you to show up for your goals even on those hard days, because the feeling that you get when you prove to yourself that you can persist is so priceless. So we're nearing the end here. The R actually stands for review and refine. Having a consistent review process is going to help you continue with your goal. You want to make sure that you have either qualitative or quantitative measures to track your progress. You've already established meaningful metrics to monitor your progress consistently. So now you have to have a tracking system. You want to have a very simple tracking system that's going to work with your lifestyle. There are all kinds of ways to track. The one that I recommend and that I use for myself is just a simple plus-minus system that I enter into my planner. You want to be able to schedule regular check-ins to review. So I do weekly check-ins to keep things moving, but then I also do monthly and quarterly, especially for big goals and my life plan, as part of this overall strategic planning that I do. And these quarterly reviews are when I make decisions on moving on to the next goal. Having a structured review period is really crucial. It serves a lot of purposes. For example, it prevents you from abandoning your goals, especially when challenges arise, because you're tracking, you're seeing that you're making progress, even if you have a slight hump that you're facing in the short term. It reinforces the positive behaviors of pursuing your goals and making progress, and it gives you the opportunity to celebrate all of those mini milestones that you have on your way to achieving the full goal. Strategically, it helps you identify and eliminate roadblocks. And the other part of the R is to refine, where you systematically assess what's working and then adjust what isn't. Essentially, you're creating a self-improving goal system that is going to evolve with you as you work on the goal. What you're changing are things that don't seem to be working for you and that you are finding an alternative route that works a little better for you, as well as when you realize you're veering away from your life plan, you want to refine to make sure that you're back on track. The review and refine process turns your goal getting from a one-time thing into this ongoing journey of growth and achievement. So as we wrap up today's episode, let's recap what we learned about this powerful framework that's going to help you achieve your dreams while you're able to balance your busy life. M is for mindset, A is for alignment, S is for setting, T is for technique, E is for execution, and R is for review and refine. Now, I don't want your goals to just be about checking boxes. I know that what you want is to gain meaningful progress towards your vision that you have for your life. When you're tempted to put your own dreams on hold, well, so many of us have been doing this, then we feel really disconnected from who we are. So this is a system that's going to help you prioritize yourself without sacrificing commitments that you have to your family. And when you do that, you're going to be able to achieve your ambitious mom life, one goal at a time. I hope today's episode will help you create time and freedom to pursue something you love to do. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and tell other purpose-driven mamas about it. Who knows? You might even make a new friend by sharing a tip. It's all free. By the way, it would be amazing to hear what you think about the show when you leave a review on Apple Podcasts. After all, my passion is to make this a great experience for you. I'll see you next week for another episode of Achieve Your Ambitious Mom Life with Anoki Kapasi.